I spent one whole week learning Blender just to answer the question, can you learn Blender in a week? And with that, welcome to Learning Blender Day 4. Day 2 I made some vegetables, and on day 3 I made something to cut them. But now I need something to cook them. That's why I'm doing a pan first. I added a cube, scaled it to the size of the reference picture, scaled it up and scaled it so it looks like an actual pan. Then scaled the top outwards to make this type of look. Yeah, I know it's a lot of scaling. And with that it was already very similar to an actual pan. But then I extruded it downwards to make the sides thicker. It wasn't connected, but it already looked good. Then I started with filling the inside, with just simply filling it with F. Then it already looked really good. But there was no way to even hold the pan. So I start with that. I used the reference picture and extruded from the front. Then you already had something to hold the pan, but it didn't really have a good grip and looked very plain. So with scaling it down, it already looked a lot better and just how I wanted, but it wasn't long enough. So I extruded it from the back to make it fit the reference picture exactly. But it still looked very sharp. So I beveled the edges. It was better, but still not perfect. So I also adjusted the heights to make it look more realistic and rounded the edges a bit. Then I was pretty happy, but the hole from the reference picture was still missing. For that, I was able to use something very new I learned. The Boolean modifier. It subtracts objects from others. In my situation, it was very helpful because I needed a hole in my pan, and with the Boolean modifier I could do exactly that. So I added a cylinder, scaled it to the size I needed, then used the Boolean modifier and applied it, and the hole I wanted was done. Easy like that. With that I was happy with the back of the pen, and now all I needed was a little texture. I did not really dip into texturing so far, so I just did a dark type of texture, and then I moved on to the next one. Now I had a pan to fry, but I still needed something to cook. So I made a cooking pot. First I made a basic form with extruding a circle, filled the middle, and it was already in a pretty good starting shape. But it obviously needed some more detail. So I beveled the bottom, but like you can see, it didn't really look good from the start. So I moved it down, then I had the form I wanted. But with moving it down, I also made the cooking pot a little bit big. So I scaled it down again from the top, and the shape was done. But our cooking pot was still missing a lid, so I started with that. I extruded it, moved it up, and it already had a good form, but the actual top was missing. So I deleted the face on the bottom, and with F I did it to the top, moved it up again, scaled it in, but then suddenly my Blender just crashed and I had to redo it all again because I forgot to save. Always remember to save, guys. But I'll spare you all the redoing and just get straight to the point where we were. After I've redone everything, I did the lid again, and in my opinion it looked even better, but the little point at the top was still missing. So I added that and the lid was done. Overall I'm very happy how the cooking pot turned out, and I'm even able to remove the lid. So I went to the texturing. I used a black texture for the knob at the top and a metal texture for the actual cooking pot. With that it looked really good. I think it's one of the best textures I've done so far, even though it still doesn't look very professional. Then I used the rest of my time to build a little scene. I put a lot of effort into creating the heating pads, and at the end my pan and cooking pot looked like that. I'm very happy with what I've done today, even though I had a little less time. And with that the video comes to an end. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you tomorrow, and bye.